morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato, and it is a beautiful Sunday morning. Brian, when I woke up this morning, I was out there. I live out west in Weston. You could not see 2 inches in front of you. It was all fogged up. How was it by the beach?
It was just fine. I apparently was not up that early this morning, but the weather has been phenomenal. It's why that beautiful turf course out there has been firm for the last countless days, and we've got 2 really good maiden special weights for the 2-year-olds on turf today that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, we got $300,000 gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six this afternoon. Going to kick off in race number 5, $300,000. That's going to be $325 within 10 seconds. So we'll see how that plays out. So make sure you get your tickets. It's a good day to play it today. And you mentioned those 2-year-old races.
Yeah.
Those are nice turf races for those 2-year-olds. And so with that said, the first race is going to be a mile on the turf. Maiden claim is 3 and up, 20,000. Scratch the 6, which was my top pick, 9, and all the alsos 13 through 16. Brian worked it out and got his early pick 5 ticket together.
Yeah, we had to sharpen the pencils this morning because this is all sorts of reworked and all that good stuff here. I, too, scratch into a pick here in the opener. There is the single now. The second was really hurt by the scratch bug. The distractor is a logical single. I lost my long shot in race 3 to Hot Bottom Girl, so we go into Always Connected in there. In race 4, Bluey on top for me, and in race 5, I lost my best bet of the day, so I scratch in to Una Luna. 40-50. Excuse me, Rob.
But Una Luna was my single in the Rainbow Six today, and that's the only thing I did that worked out well for me with the scratches as far as that, because I like Una Luna's past experience. Well, we'll talk about that later on the turf course here. So getting back to this first race this afternoon, both Brian and I know I bumped up Mr. Seyu's debuting on the turf, returned from the layoff to finish third against similar quality. That was on the Peter. Hey, just 10 days ago, but it's Bobby DeBoni. Had another win yesterday. He's got Lionel Reyes overseeing the gelded son of Nyquist, who you would think is bred on both sides to handle the turf.
Yeah, I always had this horse on top.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was trying to get a little clever and basically trying to beat Funding Gap. Well, that's long gone now. So is the 8-1 on the morning line. That is long gone now, too. But, you know, I thought it was interesting, Ronnie, that Bobby runs this horse back last time off that extended layoff. He ran okay. The winner was pretty good that day and was a short number, and now Bobby comes right back on turf. So maybe with that race behind him, Mr. Cellular, who had some talent before he went away, maybe he gets back on the beam today.
And the number 11 you have in second, Greg's Honor, always been facing better on the grass.
Yeah, clearly the horse to beat, and he's the turf horse for Mark Hennig.
And I went with the number 3 in second, and that is Media Sensation here. And this one is now in the Kathleen O'Connell barn. Gelding drops, face 40 types on the turf up north. Sort of less than stellar results. Junior Alvaro rides, you know, a little bit of a shaky proposition. I thought maybe I could be on the exact trifecta. So I think 211 might be the way to go in there, and you're going to throw the 3 underneath. Yeah.
I'd like to think with those 3 you can get through this race. We'll see.
Let's go to race number 2, and as Brian mentioned at the top here, we got hit with the scratch bird pretty bad in race number 2. It's going to be 7 furlong starter optional claimer, 3 and up starter for 20 or less, or the optional tag of 32,000. Scratch the 1, the 3, and the number 4, which leaves us with a 3-horse field. We haven't seen that in a long time. 4-horse maybe, but not 3-horse. And you're absolutely right about the distractor. And I think you got a video you wanted to show.
Yeah, the video was the distractor and Absolute Grid, who are the 2 horses in here. So here's Absolute Grid is the 6, and the distractor is the 7. There's not a ton going on here, but the race goes through these horses. Here's the distractor sifting through, and to his credit, and that's why he's won 3 out of 4, and the other 2 he's lost. He's a head and a nose away from winning 7 in a row, Ronnie, and he wants to beat you, but Absolute Grit ran hard this day. He was beaten just a half length for Rohan Crichton, and now we're second off a little bit of a layoff. He'd probably be a little tighter. I will say this about the distractor. He likes to thread the needle a little bit. His margin for error is not a big one. 3 horses in here now. It'll turn out to be a jockey's race, and 2 of the best and a young apprentice who's got a lot of star potential in front of him, too. So it'll be fun to see how it all shakes out.
I had some interest in the number 5, I'm a G6, making the third start of his current form cycle. He finished second and third, respectively, behind that repeat winner, Desert Ruler, at this level and distance. Ormi Mirage, Luis Saez is going to be in the saddle. That was enough to sell me to put this one in second, but I'm in agreement with you with the distractor there in race number 2, Edgar Zayas for Seffi Joseph Jr. Race number 3 today is about 1.70 miles on the Topita Maiden. Claim is 3 and up, 20,000. This was your long shot in here. Hot bottom girl. That would have been a nice one at 20-1 for Blake Kelly. But
yeah, it wasn't. I don't think even 10-1 would have been nice in there.
I went with the 2, all along with the 2 in here, pretty persuasive, who's dropping to the 20 level after the troubled special weight debut. She was pulled up. She was vanned off. Chad Brown is the trainer. He has this thought of street sense, working steadily to the move to the all-weather surface. Lots of guesswork going on here with this horse. Just thought that maybe this was a sneak when horses, come off and then show that they're working. Who knows what happened that day? At least I don't know what happened that day. And I just think this horse found a good spot to bounce back. You did go with the Always Connected, debuting locally for George Weaver.
Yeah, I mean, we get the race at Aqueduct, Belmont at Aqueduct on the turf last time, but look at the Topita race at Turfway Park, the lone all-weather race, and it was against tons better. Listen, it is what it is. Your pick's dropping from 6 to 5 in a maiden special weight in for 20 today. I'm dropping as well. It is what it is. It's one of the reasons why I was going with Hot Bottom Girl, who was in. Now, I will say this, Ronnie. Blake Kelly had 2 horses in here, left the 4 in. So, maybe there's something there to take note of. I used all 3 of them.
Yeah, and that horse I have in second. I had it second all along. I didn't have your long shot in there. And this one improved third place finish against those maiden, going 8.5 on the Topita, as you mentioned for Blake. And, he had 2. He keeps this one in. Always an angle that people, might want to take a look at. So yeah. Just a race. And what'd you see with the number 6 horse in there? One of my favorite not names, Gurley the Butcher.
Coming out of, we'll use the term loosely, but fast races for the level. So I think that's a positive. The blinkers come off today. Does have 4 second-place finishes. Listen, we don't know if the 1 or 2 can run. Let's just be completely honest here, and you're going to get better prices on other ones. So just kind of food for thought. Brittany Scampton going to ride Miss Holly as well, so we welcome her in here to Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, so lots of interesting thing going on in that third race with only that 1 scratch, but it was a big one for Brian.
Yeah.
Race number 4 this afternoon, 5 furlongs, about distance on the Topita. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $20,000. Have a jockey change on the number 2, make the rider Samuel Camacho Jr. And I'll start it off in here with the horse I had on top. You have in third. At a straight time, was dropping to the 20 level today and returning to the all-weather surface here, the Topita here. Looking to recapture the form he displayed, finishing second, third. That was against special weight competition, sprinting on the Presque Isle all-weather surface during July and August. Mike Trombetti's having a good start to the meet. Here is a stat I found: turf to all-weather in sprints. He's 15 for 68, 22%, 50% in the money, 186. So real good numbers for him doing this. I like the work that he's done. He's been going good since we started on December 1st, and even before that. So we'll see how he runs. I thought he had a big shot in here.
Yeah, and he reaches out for Edgar Zayas. I think that's a big positive. And this horse's all-weather races are just against better in the maiden special company. We drop in class. I worry a little bit about maybe the lack of early speed, but favored on the morning line, and rightfully so.
Horse that's changing barns. Bluey is going to the Carlos Perez barn after the Clay makes the first start. He had that sharp effort in October.
Yeah, this horse is okay, and he fits the profile of the track, too. We've talked about it a lot. We'll show a graphic for it later on, too. You better be close sprinting on the Topita, because you blink and these races are over. This is 5 furlongs. This horse showed speed last time. The barn, you don't, maybe not as familiar with some of the other barns. His 3 for 18 off the Claim has shown they can do this.
I went to the inside horse in second. Luna Rocket is stepping it up a notch after shipping in from Delaware into the Liz Doble's barn and finishing a stalk to pace third from the rail against 16 maidens, going 5 on the Topita. Leonel Reyes is going to ride. I see only positive second start in her barn.
Yeah, the thing I didn't like is this horse is 0 for 11 with 7 underneath finishes. 6 of them are thirds, but Liz won a race yesterday. We know how good of a job she does, and you can see it right there in front of you. She got this horse last time, moved him to the Topita, and he really, really blew way up with a good third. The rail is not ideal, but I think you've got to use this horse.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. We're going to take a short, but you want to talk about 6? Or that's a 20-1 on that horse. You had it.
No, that was
Not the one
No.
you used. I got that mixed up. All right, let's go to a break, and I'll be back with my Rainbow Six ticket.
It's probably the most beautiful racetrack in the country, to be honest with you.
The background is just beautiful.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the grandstand and the racing.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
The Gulfstream Championship meet has become one of the top events of the year. You could come out on a Wednesday and see a future Preakness winner.
They're off in the Preakness.
The Run Happy Santa Anita Derby.
Got the unique 6.5 down the hillside turf course.
A whole lot of great racing here in California.
And we're off.
We have all 3 surfaces here, the only racetrack in the country to have all 3 surfaces. Being close to the ocean, being surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders in history, it's amazing.
It's the prettiest thing you've ever seen. There's no one else has a background like we do.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Brian here, and we're going to kick off the Rainbow Six in race number 5 this afternoon. It's going to be a mile on the turf, claiming fillies 3 or 4 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life or race since June 11th. We did have some scratches in here of the 3, the 7, the 9, the 11, and both also 13 and 14. And I'll show you my Rainbow Six ticket now. And as I mentioned, this was actually my single all day long, so I didn't have to do much change in here with Una Luna. I just going on this we'll talk about that race. 6th race, 3 deep for me. Luca Go, Baron Sesco, and Forest Survivor. Lots of coverage in race number 7 with Alphabella 2 Solicitation and the 12 Strand of Gold. In race number 8, going to go with Battle Cry on top. She's all woman, and it's so easy to number 7. 9th race today, Avant Glory, Acertico, and Gangley. And in the last, here's my story. Erna is absolutely the one to beat. My long shot is Mrs. Astor. Erna wins, I'm okay. I want my long shot to win. That's why I use just those 2 there.
I bet Mrs. Astor last time, and I actually thought in mid-stretch she was going to win at 26 to 1. So I am with you. I put her in second. She had a little bit of a trip that day too. I think she's going to be a lot tighter today.
And going back to this 5th race this afternoon, I did go with Luna, who we've known forever down here, is back locally and dropping to the 20 level. So I like to drop to the 20 level. Looking to recapture the form she displayed, winning 7 races over the Gulfstream Park turf. I think against better for Jose Gallegos. You get Edgar Zayas at top. This is truly a horse for course play for me in here. And you got it on top. Did you scratch in or you had it?
Me at midnight was my best bet of the day. So I lose her, I scratch into your best bet. You're single in here, and for all the reasons you mentioned, we're dropping in class. She loves it around here. She says, Ronnie said, not only is she 7 for 25 here, well, that means she's 1 for 10 everywhere else. So she clearly loves it here in Hollandale Beach, and I think she's the horse to beat now on the scratches.
The number 1, La Costa, you go back, a couple of good races here on the all-weather Tapeta. One time shown a little bit more speed. But if you go back to that race at Monmouth, wasn't a bad performance.
No, I agree, and she's drawn well to be down inside. She's got tactical speed. They can lead if they want, or if somebody else wants to go, she can lay close. I think getting back to the turf is beneficial for her.
And I went and I had the number 4 in second, Vandalia. I just thought this horse, first off, the claim by Joe Orsino on the Tapeta last time out was a victory. 0 for 2 on the turf. I just like this horse's tractability. I think he'll sit a nice trip in here. And like I said, I lost 2 of my top picks in here. Second and third pick in here with the scratches. Had your horse Mir at midnight in second.
Yeah, Vandalia was a total fade for me on the turf. It was on Tapeta. She's probably the horse to beat. It is not on Tapeta.
Race number 6 this afternoon. About 5.5 on the Tapeta. Claim is 3 or 4 and up. Number 1 is a 3 in life or since June 11th. No scratches in this race to kick off the late pick 5.
And we'll take a look at the ticket. 3 deep here in race number 7. Number 9 is on top for me. Worst behavior. Maybe a send mission there for Roger Atfield and try to wire that field. 52 in race 8. Clearly, She's All Woman is going to be a problem for them. 85 in race 9. Now I lose Prince of Iron, who I had on top in race number 10. I got to be single Erna because
yeah.
I just think, Ron,
Oh, yeah.
from what she did on debut and what the others have done so far, they are looking up at a mighty big mountain.
No, you're 100% right, but that's why I went with the long shot because I like that horse's last race, and you
Yeah.
actually bet it last time. Hey, you got to race. You got to prove it on the track. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm trying to get a little bit of a price there. Getting back to this sixth race, as I mentioned, no scratches. Well, let's start with your horse, the number 5 horse in here, and that is Crack Shot, who I had a little further down on the ticket.
I had Crack Shot 2-1 in this race, so
Yeah.
we'll see what kind of price we get. I mean, he is dropping. Look at the race he comes out of. Panther Island, Man of the Mamba on 3,
Yeah.
and Be by the Sea. They would all be strong favorites in here. It's a huge drop. He's got a big figure. Frank Russo is winning races here already, and he's going to win more races throughout the championship meet. This horse draws perfectly. To me, he's clearly the horse to beat in here.
The number 2 horse you have in secondary on top, Luca Go, is dropping into a better situation, I think, after returning from Monmouth. Finished that workman-like 5th against those 32 optional claimers, going 5.5. Claudio Gonzalez, I think, spots this 3-time winner on over the local Topita, where he merits the call of the one to
He's
beat.
a cool horse, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he really is.
They've done some good things with this horse. He'll run on anything for you. As Ronnie said, he's got 3 wins on the board here. He is a major, major player. He's another one. Look at what he's coming out of. Wara. I mean, Wara is absolutely streaking right now for Ronaldo Richards.
And I made sure I got his name right because I was
Yes.
calling the thing. I put the asterisk in. Luca Go, not Lucago. We calling him early on when we didn't know. Hey, Baron Sesco, I have in second, Brian. In this one, is turning back to a sprint distance after stepping off the claim by Peter Walder. Set the early pace. He sort of flattened down that race. That was against those 20 claimers going a mile and the 16th on the all-weather to Peter. Louis Sayers handled what I call the classic turn-back move. You try him long, you turn him back.
Yeah, and normally I'd be okay with that. In this spot, I worry a little bit because he's been getting run off his feet, sprinting on the Topita. It doesn't work. It's tough running style to employ when you're going 5.5.
Let's show you a stat on the number 1 Forest Survivor. We mentioned how much we like the work that Elizabeth Dobles does. This is first after the claim sprints. She's 6 for 19, 32%, 58% in the money just over the last couple of years. 223 is the return of investment. Just good stats, good numbers there. Edgar Zayas, inside post today.
Yeah, going to have to go from down there. And listen, we like Ronnie said, Liz does such a good job. We got to improve off Rohan Crichton. That's going to be easier said than done. And I think this horse does have to improve.
Let's go to race number 7 this afternoon. 1 mile on the turf, maiden special weight 2-year-old fillies. As Brian mentioned earlier today, a couple of really nice races today. You had to have a scratch here of Matola. Please note the number 13, Well Into, gets in and will run with Julian Leperoux as the pilot in here. And you went with the number 9 horse in here. What's that? Worst behavior, 12-1. I liking that.
Yeah, so we're coming out of sprint races up there at Woodbine. 6 and 6.5 for Hall of Famer Roger Atfield. Another Hall of Famer, Edgar Prado, is aboard here. And this horse has been zipping, going 6 and 6.5. Now we're going to stretch out. Bernardini out of a Mizzen Mass mare. We've got 2 tighteners here. I got a feeling this horse is live today, Ron. I hope Edgar's aggressive early. We've seen it now. We've got to start talking about it.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to be up front on the turf course.
Absolutely. I did go with the number 2, Alpha Bella, who's debuting on the turf with blinkers added after showing promise in both recent route races on the dirt at Churchill Downs. Todd Pletcher, Louis Sayers atop this daughter of Justify. So I just, Alpha Bella, I like the fact that Todd, putting the blinkers on after the pair of, decent performances on the turf. Dirt up there, certainly bred to handle the turf. I mean, we don't know that much about Justifies, but certainly looks like that one's going to be a top sire.
Yeah, I think this is the horse to beat. Obviously, she's got to prove that she can handle it. The dam was all turf. She won a stake. She was second in grade 2s and grade 3s on the turf. We've got Luis down inside, too, and, here's another one with some tactical speed.
The number 10, Solicitation, is the daughter of Run Happy and a half-sister to that grade 2 runner, Stormello. And also that turf stakes winner, My Best Brother, debuting for Christophe Clement. He's good with his freshman runners in here. I think maybe this horse runs well. Tyler Gaffalione, a couple of wins yesterday on the board, so we'll see how this one runs.
And Christophe's already popped with a firster. Tyler was aboard at the Bobby Flay homebred. And this is the 13th foal out of the dam. 10 of them have raced. 4 of them have won on debut. So this could be a live horse here, a daughter of Run Happy.
And what about the 12th Strand of Gold? You wanted to revisit her entering the far turn to the wire.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the replay. You're going to see the silks of Ken Ramsey here. Down inside, this is that Kentucky Downs turf course. Can be a little funky, a little tricky, but now you're seeing him go downhill here. I thought this horse ran very, very well with maybe a little trouble too. You're going to see this horse gallop out really well too. The post today is, yikes, not good at all. Edgard is going to have to use all his savvy from out there to get a trip on this horse, but I like the experience that this horse brings now. This is a demanding trip at Kentucky Downs. Thanks, Bob. And this horse runs very, very well. And the thing I like too, Ronnie, watch this horse run on late and gallop out with and past the winner. I thought this was a strong, strong effort. They're still going, by the way. If you've never been to Kentucky
always
Downs.
confused. Yeah, I'm always confused.
Exactly. But, only the post, I think, today is what is going to hurt this horse.
Yeah, I'm sort of becoming a believer. I picked the 11 a couple of times already this week, and they ran well. You got to use everything to get that, unless you're able to get over and just slow them down, and that's when you got to have that really good speed and some luck. 8th race today, a mile starter, optional claimant, Fillies and Mares started for 12.5 or less. The tag is 20,000, no scratches in here, and you went with She's All Woman, who's back locally. She had a 4-race win streak, and when she chased and faded, that was in the Claiming Crown. No, not here, the Glass Slipper at Churchill Downs.
Yeah, it was a mess that day at Churchill. So I know she was even money. Well, she was 1.11 to 1, Ron,
Oh, yeah, forget about figuring that out.
To 1. She didn't run at all. Well, now she's back. She clearly likes it here. She's been in the exacta 12 of 21 times. There's no drop. Safi's not putting her in for a tag. We don't have to worry about any of that. And I just think she's back with some friends here today, and I don't think their friends are going to like her very much.
Well, number 2, Battle Cry, you have in second today, is 11 for 17 in the money at Gulfstream Park. Returns after that successful campaign at Delaware where she won 2 of 4 races. She's a daughter of Perspective. She heads to appeal as a 2-time winner at a mile. You're getting Luis Saez for Victor Barboza Jr. Lots to like. These look like the logical 2 to me.
Yeah, and she's been here plenty of times, so that doesn't bother me as much. Those are all 2-turn races at Delaware. The thing that I worry about is this is a sharp 1-turn mile here at Gulfstream Park. She better lay a little closer because you're not going to win by coming off from 6 lengths when you hit the far turn.
And the number 7, It's So Easy, debuting locally for Preciado Guadalupe after the consistent campaign against Similar up at Parks. This horse will be ridden today by Andy Hernandez. We'll check him out here. They originally had Sonny Leon, but it'll be Andy Hernandez today.
Horse won by 9 lengths, 2 back, and was a good second last time, so certainly in form.
Race number 9 this afternoon, 6.5 furlongs, allowance optional claimant, state bred, 3-year-olds and up. Optional claiming price is $20,000. Scratch the 3, Prince of Iron. Jockey on the 4 is Edgard Zayas. You got a video with Avant Glory.
Yeah, the video had Prince of Iron, too, who was my top pick. So as Ronnie said, he's out now. Avant Glory runs big here, okay? You got to give him credit. I know on the face of it, if you're just looking at past performances, and I think this is why, watching replays is one of the last stones unturned. Yeah, okay, you look down at your paper and he blew a 5-length late lead. Well, he absolutely, Ronnie, just buries all the speed in this race. And here's September 10. He's going to run him down at the end, coming from nowhere. Watch where the other horses that were dueling and chasing Avant Glory were. They were nowheresville. I know he gives it up late. This was an absolutely monster effort by this horse. He is not stopping. He just gets run down by a 2-1 here. That's in very, very good form. I think today, certainly now with the scratch of Prince of Iron, who is eligible to be a lot tighter second back off the layoff, I think Avant Glory is every bit the one to beat in here.
The number 4, Acertico, is turning back to this distance of 6.5 furlongs. He set the pace, and he yielded at the furlong market to finish third against 30 starter optional claimers, going 7 last time out. I like the little turn back. I think Ronnie puts him in a good spot today. This Ronnie Spatz. I just think he's a good player. Now, as I mentioned, going to get the services today of Edgard Zayas.
Yeah, he's a cool hard knocker. I mean, he likes to win races, too. He's 6 for 15 on our main track. The question is, how much pace pressure is he going to face? There is a lot of speed in this race.
I had your horse, too, on there, Prince of Iron, so I bumped up Gangley, who comes off the bench for Peter Walder.
Same thing with me, and Gangley might get really helped out because he's shown a bit of a tactical rating gear in the past. There is a lot of hitting up front in this race.
Race number 10 this afternoon, 1 mile on the turf, maiden special weight filly, 2-year-olds. This is a really nice race. I love the fact it's a full field of 12. Take it over with Erna.
I mean, we'll show you the replay here. There's not a ton going on, but just a daughter of Curlin that runs huge on debut for Cherie DeVoe. This is at Belmont at Aqueduct. Obviously, it's a demanding turf course up there that's, in the fall, has a little give to it, and she's going to try to bottom them all out here, and it just comes up a little short. The winner comes back and wins the Grade 3 Jimmy Durantia out at Del Mar. So I think this is a pretty classy individual that runs her down, and I got a feeling, Ronnie, this is a pretty classy daughter of Curlin, too. They paid a big number for her. You can see she's well clear of the rest, too. This is a powerful effort. Luis Saez is aboard. He does so well, 21% riding for Cherie DeVoe. And, boy, she's going to be tough to run down, I think.
Let's show you a stat with Cherie. Second career start, route races on the turf. She's 5 for 23, 22%, 43% in the money, 326 is the return of investment over the past 2 years. Everything is positive for this horse this afternoon. I'm going to try and beat her, and it's just I was looking for a long shot today, and I thought maybe with Mrs. Astor turning back to a mile, I like that part, made that move to get the lead sort of flattened out when finishing 5th. I thought it was a good performance in her special weight debut. That was going 8.5 furlongs on the Keeneland turf. Jonathan Thomas, he's solid, 24% with horses making their second start. Emisial Jaramillo handling the inside post this afternoon. And like I said, I only used 2 horses in my Rainbow Six. I know the 9 is the one to beat, but I thought maybe with Mrs. Astor getting 8-1, maybe even a little bit more this afternoon.
Yeah, the good news is Erna might be 4-5 in this race.
Yeah.
She's not going to be close to 5-2. So, I mean, you're going to get value on other horses. Listen, we talked about it. I like Mrs. Astor. I thought she ran very sneaky well on debut. Yes, it was a really slow race. Who beat her, Ronnie? Look who beat her. Juniper Marshmallow. We're going to show her in a lightning round. She won the stakes here yesterday.
That's right, yeah. Very good horse. And what about number 5 on the payroll is hoping for clear sailing after stalking the early pace. Had some traffic at the quarter pole, finished 7th. That was her mile and a 16th debut up at Aqueduct for Todd Pletcher. And one of Brian's favorite jockeys, Johnny Velasquez, named on this order of More Than Ready.
It's good to see Johnny back in the entries here. We'll see him in a few days before he heads out to our sister track, Santa Anita, for their opening day on the 26th. But on the payroll, I know Juniper Marshmallow won her debut. She did it really slow. This is the same kind of angle with Todd Pletcher. Ran pretty well on debut in a slow race. You could expect a lot more today.
Now we will go that's the 10 races, and like we said, there's 2 grass races for the 2-year-olds are fantastic. So we'll go to our lightning round, and we had a couple of really nice performances yesterday.
Ari Gold, you see Dealmaker. I don't watch what was the show there that Ari Gold is named after, but boy, he strutted his stuff. Entourage, there it is.
Entourage.
Billy
that's
Badgett.
Where that guy came from.
Yeah, Billy Badgett, you listening? Entourage, that's our show. Ari Gold, really good, doling it out. Ronnie, that's a 22-3 second quarter he blitzed this field with.
No, he's very impressive. I liked him go all along. And Juniper Marshmallow comes back and wins the wait a while, and that gives a Pletcher a double.
Yeah, exactly. So Todd, Hall of Fame trainer Todd Pletcher, sweeps him here, and she is going to be sifting through in a second. And she was very game in defeat. There was a race that, had some things going on, and here she gets run here for Vinny Viola's St. Elias stable. Looked really good coming out. As I mentioned, a slow maiden race, but Todd is in the Hall of Fame for a lot of different reasons, and getting marked improvement out of horses is one of them.
Do we have any best bets and long shots left?
I got nothing to offer. As I said, throughout the day and on Twitter, I'll put some thoughts up. I lost my best bet and my long shot here. You can take it away here.
Yeah, Una Luna for me in race number 6. And we just talked about, trying to beat the big heavy favorite, Mrs. Astor, in the last race this afternoon. That is the number 1 horse, 8-1 on the morning line. Hey, we're going to have free calendars again this year.
Yeah, can't wait for that. That is a 13-month calendar on the 26th. Get him at the Breezeway. We'll be here kicking off the championship meet. That is a 13-month calendar you can get right in the breezeway.
And that is one of the most popular giveaways that we have here. People trying everything to get more than
I already
the one.
had someone ask me to save them.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Yesterday.
That's what I mean. Never happens. And I always go, I need 3. Why? I got 3 rooms now. 1 per person. That's it for us. We're going to turn it over to one, the only Pete Aiello, with a lot of scratches in a couple of races and none in others.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place.
We back.
Northern Dancer, winner of the Florida Derby.
Yeah.
All the history, all these great horses, trainers, jockeys.
It is Barbaro to the final furlong. He is a neck in front. Barbaro wins!
It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Sunday silence surges to the front.
First day, opening day of championship meet, I was kind of starstruck. You're watching LeBron James, and then next thing you know, you're playing basketball against him. That's how I felt when I'm riding with Johnny V, riding with Irad, Luis.
So many famous people come, Post Malone, Pharrell, J-Lo was there. It's epic.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
It's all about Knicks Go. Knicks Go makes it 4 in a row.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks in the country, surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders. It's amazing.